Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle. Breitbart reported that Kimberly Cheadle was testifying in front of Congress today and said that this was the most significant failure in decades, referring to the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, but still won't resign. Here's what they had to say. U.S. Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle called her agency's failure to protect former President Donald Trump at a July 13th rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, quote, the most significant operational failure of the Secret Service in decades, but made no indication that she would resign. The assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump on July 13th is the most significant operational failure of the Secret Service in decades, Cheadle said in the first congressional hearing on the assassination attempt since it occurred. The Secret Service solemn mission is to protect our nation's leaders, and on July 13th, we failed, she added. She said as the director of the Secret Service, she took full responsibility for any security lapse of our agency. However, she stopped short of announcing any measures for accountability, simply saying the agency is fully cooperating with ongoing investigations. Now, many people watching are saying, why do we no longer live in a society of accountability? Well, while she was up and being grilled, check out the video yourself of exactly what happened. Here's what she had to say.
Would you agree that this is the most serious security lapse since President Reagan was shot in 1981 of the Secret Service?
Yes, sir, I would.
And, do you know what Stuart Knight did when he was in charge at the time of the Secret Service? Do you know what he did afterwards?
He remained on duty.
He resigned. He resigned.
And they're calling on her to resign, but she fails to acknowledge this. I think it's because we live in a country where we no longer hold anyone accountable. I mean, COVID, what was that? Iraq, Afghanistan withdrawal. People just die, politicians lie, and no one ends up getting fired or resigns. Now, Greg Price explained that, even with the rally goers pointing at the shooter, that they still didn't notice the threat. Here's a clip from Fox News that I thought is not only interesting, but really important. It's a few minutes, but I encourage you to watch the whole thing as it's riveting.
Cheadle, as you know, the shooter began shooting at 6:11 p.m. Eastern on July 13th. NBC reported that at 5:51 p.m., 20 minutes before the shooting began, the state police informed the Secret Service of their concern. Now, the rally was not paused at that point, correct?
No.
And according to NBC, just 2 minutes later, at 5:53 p.m., the Secret Service notified its snipers about the gunman. The rally wasn't paused at that point either, correct?
No.
Let me show you some video footage by rally goers. If you could play the video on the screen up here. This was taken 2 minutes before the shooting started. If you could turn up the volume.
Dangerous people, criminals. We have criminals. We have drug dealers. We have people that should not be here.
Right on the roof.
It's much tougher than
Up now.
it happens.
You went right on the roof with that.
Up here. Ma'am, that doesn't look like suspicious behavior. That looks like threatening behavior to me. And the rally wasn't paused at that point either, correct?
I can tell you, as I stated earlier, sir, that the moment that the shift surrounding the president were aware of an actual threat.
That's a threat right there. The guy's on the roof and everybody's yelling at him.
Yes.
And directing the officer's attention to him. The rally was not paused at that point, correct?
We are currently still combing through communications and when communications were passed.
Well, I can point you to this communication. It's 2 minutes before the shots started ringing out. Director Cheadle, yes or no? Was there ever a moment where the Secret Service actually considered pausing the rally?
The Secret Service would have paused the rally had they known or been.
So the
told
answer is
there was
no.
an actual threat.
The answer is no. Correct?
I can speak to you in generalities.
No, I don't want generalities. I
know
want
all of the
specifics.
communications.
The answer is no. You did not consider pausing the rally, correct?
The people that are in charge of protecting the president on that day would never bring the former president out if there was a threat that had been identified.
Well, they did, because we've now identified 3 points in the 20 minutes before the.
Just watching that, it's remarkable, right? I mean, I don't think in any of our jobs outside of the government can you fail that drastically. I mean, the guy literally should be dead. And I don't say that gleefully. I mean, Trump should be dead. You saw the bullet was within millimeters of his ear, and yet he survived. And we'd be having a much different story, right? With Joe Biden dropping out, we'd probably have a Nikki Haley versus Kamala Harris ticket with Whitmer as VP or something crazy like that. It's insanity what they tried. And now we don't even know if Joe Biden's alive. But the truth is that our country is in very dire straits. And there's not a lot we can really do or say about it. Now, I want to remind you guys that you need to buckle up because it might be time to learn how to protect yourself and your family now and everything that you've worked hard for, because the country may go into disarray. This year has been one of the most turbulent on record, just naming a few things. We've had inflation, national debt rising, never-ending global conflicts, the election, Joe Biden just stepping down. Like, it's crazy. So you can stand by and see what happens, or you can find out now how to take control of your time-tested strategy. Listen to this. You need to diversify your finances with precious metals like gold and silver. Here are 3 reasons you may want to consider it now. Number 1, gold is known to be a rock-solid way to weather unpredictability. 2, gold can help you protect against wild inflation. 3, gold is a popular strategy for people like me who use gold to diversify and hedge against economic crisis. Right now, Goldco, the country's top-rated precious metals company, has an unbelievable offer for you. You can get up to a 10% instant match in bonus silver on qualified purchases. That's up to 10% more for your money. You're not going to find a better deal than this. Get that order now at vnngold.com, vnngold.com. Check it out today. That's vnngold.com. You're not going to wait. Click the link in the description. Now, as I mentioned, not only do you diversify, but, things are in a very turbulent time. Listen to this. When she was asked directly if she would be willing to fire somebody on the ground for what happened, the Secret Service director wouldn't answer. It's even mind-boggling for me. Listen.
The removal. So here's my question. You said there's going to be accountability. I understand you don't want to give us names. When you say that, are you telling the committee that once it's concluded, you're prepared to fire the people on the ground who made poor decisions that day?
I'm prepared to take the actions necessary.
No, that's nonsense. Okay. Accountability. The failure was human. That doesn't mean they're bad people. It means they failed that day, and a former president was almost assassinated. Okay. Are you prepared to fire the human failure on the ground? Yes or no? When you have the names of where those failures were, they're people. It's not like a piece of technology failed. It was people who failed that day. Are you prepared to fire them?
I don't have an answer as to whether.
Well, then how can there be accountability if you're not prepared to fire someone?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why does no one ever get fired? There's no retribution for any of this. And that's why we live in a declining empire. There would be no accountability, and there continues to be no explanation. My name is Elijah Schaefer. Thank you for watching Beyond the Headlines, only on Vigilant News. If you like this story, just thank you for being patient with our set, because we're currently building one right now as I just moved back to the United States. But if you want to get more of these videos, subscribe to our Rumble channel or to our X. We are at Vigilant News, and you can also get our newsletter, so you get these videos direct to your inbox at vigilantnews.com. Have a great rest of the week, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.